Hey, welcome back to the Midday Q&A. I'm your host, the Duckman. That's right. I've still got no voice. This allergies or congestion or whatever it is just driving me absolutely bonkers. I tried taking some Benadryl for it last night, and it wasn't working even after 90 minutes of having soaked into me. So I took a second one. And it really didn't do much to me either, not until I had a couple drinks with it, and then, Christmas party, you gotta have some fun. So anyways, let's see, a couple things that are on my mind today. First thing is a stupid work car right here, this Nissan Juke. I absolutely hate this car. But one of the things that it started to do is the right-hand rear tire. It was going flat, and I thought, that's a pain in the ass. I got to keep putting air in it, but I have to go ahead and take it to the service center. Now, this is not my car. People always ask, why do you have such an ugly or stupid, piece of shit car? Why would a big man like you drive one of these soccer mom mobiles? And I absolutely hate this thing, but I didn't pay for it. This is actually bought for me by one of the companies that I work for, and they dispatched me to go repair various restaurants and computer equipment and stocked up with their equipment inside of there. So anyways, when I noticed that the right-hand rear tire was going flat, I thought to myself, for some reason, that's different. All of my cars that I always have here, it's always the driver's side, the left-hand side rear tire that always goes flat. And then this morning, when I was out here and I was about to put air in the tire, I went around the other side, and I went, oh shit. How about that? So anyways, I'm just going to throw some air in these things and see what happens, and it's going to go off to the tire shop, and they're going to fix, repair, replace, whatever they've got to do. I'm not even going to try to get into patching this thing or working on this thing. This is not my car, and, well, I don't really want to deal with it. So anyways, it's one of the reasons why it's kind of dirty. It's not put into the budget to take it to a car wash. So, throw some air in the tires, let's just see what happens with that and get that squared up and out of the way. Over the summer, you probably remember that I upgraded the air hose on my tools, and this was a really, really good move. In fact, I also put the larger adapter on the end of the air hose here, so that way more volume can flow into that. And when I fill a tire with air with this thing, instead of it normally taking like 3 or 4 minutes from, bone flat to like 20 seconds or so. So it's not a real pain in the ass to put air in a tire of my car anymore, of any car. Especially when it's cold and you really don't want to be outside. So anyway, it's got air in the tires now. We'll see if it holds. I'll move the car back out to the street where I usually have it when I'm working here in the driveway. I don't hear any hissing or anything. Or do I? Aha! There it is. That's why we're leaking. Seeing as how I can get to that relatively easily, I think I'm actually going to pull it and put a plug in it just because it's right there. I don't have to do much work to do that. Okay, let's fix it. Okay, you guys have seen me plug a tire before. And what you're going to need is you're going to need a pair of pliers or something to get started to pull out the foreign object. It's probably going to be loud and it's going to hiss a lot. Before we get to that, you're also going to need a reamer, which you put in the hole after this tool pulls out whatever's jamming it up. You'll have your plug inserter, and this thing is dirty. It's seen a lot of years. You'll need some plugs and some rubber cement. And the first thing you're going to want to do is pull out the foreign object here. And a little pair of needle nose is usually what will do the trick. Sometimes you need to use a bigger pair of pliers. You had a nail. Just like that. Almost can't even see the hole. It looks like a little butthole. Okay, put the reamer in there. This can be tricky. Somewhere I have a T-handled tool and I can't seem to find it, so I'm gonna go with the straight one here. Geez, it doesn't even want to go in there. Let's see if I can soften it up a little bit. Alright. I am really not a fan of pneumatic tires. I think that the whole design is a bit antiquated, and that by now we should have something better that doesn't let the damn air out every time you run over a small object. Boy, oh boy, I can't get this thing in there. There it goes. Now what this reamer is doing is two things. One, it roughs up the inside of the hole, which gives the glue a little something to stick to. And at the same time, it also opens up the hole so you can get the plug in it. There we go. See, the air's coming out of it a whole lot faster than before. Alright. From this package, we're going to remove a plug. Just like that. Usually all you need is one. On occasion, if you end up with a really big hole, sometimes you use two, but that's kind of a rarity. Now this plug inserter is like threading a needle. You put your plug right through. Pull it through about halfway, like that. And then pull it down, just like so. This is where your rubber cement comes into play. So you're going to put some on here. You don't need to go too overboard, and because I'm working upside down, it actually dripped out a lot all at once. And you don't need too awfully much on it. He says you want to get it coated and a little bit sticky. This is what's going to help make that seal. And you take this whole tool and you shove it in. Now take some force and don't push too hard, so otherwise the entire plug will go into the tire. And you don't want to lose it. It's going in a little uneven, but that's okay. Yeah, it's going just a little bit uneven on one side here. Some people like to push these in flush. I think that's a bad idea. Some people also like to cut off the excess. I don't think that's a very good idea either. But anyway, once we've got that inserted, you pull this out very quickly. Snatch. Just like that. Now because this is deep down between the treads, this rubber plug is actually going to press right in there. And it'll be out of sight, out of mind. You won't hear it, you won't feel it. And essentially, that is how you fix a tire. Now this is something you should really know how to do. If you drive a car, you should know how to do it. You should especially know how to do it if you have a cock and balls. And because this is one of those things that if you don't know how to do it, you probably should give up your cock and balls. Anyway, let's go ahead and put some air in the tire, and it should hold it just fine now. Okay, and in the back here, you notice this little plug is sticking out a little further on one side than the other. This is the worst and ugliest plug that I've ever put in, but it's also on the worst and ugliest car that I've ever had. I should say the ugliest car I've ever been forced to drive. And I don't feel so bad because I did it for free. So if it holds the air, fine. It's going to go to the tire shop anyway, and it'll hold it enough for me to get it there. Alright, that's enough of that crap. So just why do I work so late in the day if I know that the sun's going to be going down usually in about an hour to an hour and a half from when I start working? And, well, that's just the way the time works out. I do find myself often sleeping in the morning because I've been up late the night before, either with work or just because I was editing YouTube videos. And that keeps me quite busy as far as in the morning is concerned. Now, if I get up early, you know, a lot of people can do that, but I'll just be a wreck because I'm not getting any sleep. You know, staying up that late as I do just to get stuff up on YouTube really really will mess with your sleep schedule, and then waking up is just not a good thing. Although it does happen sometimes. Sometimes I do get called to work in the morning. I'm forced to get up early. I might get a nap in the middle of the afternoon if the afternoon is lucky enough to be slow. And those nights that I don't get any sleep in the morning are the nights that I don't release a YouTube video because I'm too damn tired to do anything with it. So that's just the way life works out, you know. It's just my schedule. I don't work a regular 9 to 5. I actually work midnight shift. It works from midnight until the following midnight of my day off. And, you know, it might be a 3 or 4 day run. You know, I'm up for 96 hours, or at least I'm available for 96 hours until the next time I get a day off. And like I said, days off start at midnight. If I get that call at 11:59 p.m., I might be able to get out of it. If it happens to be around the corner from me, I might just do it anyway, but you know, that's just the way it goes. Anyway, I wanted to share a little work-related story with you just the same. You saw those cash registers that I had pulled out of the restaurant that were stacked up in my backyard late last week. A lot of the local restaurants have been upgraded, and one of them was upgraded by a different technician. It wasn't me. And I was called out to go there to fix a cash drawer. The notes said that the previous tech that was there that installed the new cash registers could not get the cash drawer to open, so he replaced the cash drawer cable, but still no luck. Now, he doesn't carry the cash drawers with him. I keep that in my regular inventory. They kept their existing cash drawers, so I had to go out and service that. So the note said, cable's been replaced, just go ahead and replace the drawer. So I get out on location, I replaced the drawer, and using their telephone techs to log in remotely, they went ahead and tested the drawer, and guess what? It didn't open. So now we have a new drawer and a new cable, and it still doesn't work. So there's a possibility, okay, maybe the drawer is bad, or maybe the cable is bad. But they didn't want me to do anything else at that moment, so they dismissed me. And the next day they released me another ticket, and the ticket says replace drawer. I was like, well, I just did that, but okay, I don't have any. So I had to go ahead and place an order to get some drawers over here, and usually they would ship something like that overnight, but that didn't happen, and it's not a fault of my own. The company that ships them to me dropped the ball, and it arrived about 3 days late. So it came in on my day off, which was, it was yesterday. And the other technician that was covering for me went ahead and went out there to replace the cash drawer per their request a second time. You know, they're paying customers. You give them whatever they want. No matter how dumb it might be, you give them whatever they want. So we replaced the cash drawer for the second time, and it still doesn't work. So the backup technician says, well, okay, that's no problem. I can go ahead and pull this cash drawer cable off and let me install it on the cash drawer next to it, which we know works, and see if that cable works in that location. And indeed it did. So we had a good cable. So he hooked the cash drawer and that cable to that cash register, and the cash drawer and the cable both worked. So he moved them back to the second location where he was originally working, and it still wouldn't pop the drawer. So he had the parts to replace the computer. He replaced the entire computer. So now they have a new cash drawer, a new cable, and a new computer. And actually the computer he was replacing was brand new anyway, but that's besides the point. So he pulls the hard drive out, slaps it into the new computer, replaces the computer, puts the cash drawer, the new cash drawer, and the new cash drawer cable back together. They boot it up, still won't pop the drawer. So they released him because he was done at that point. He went above and beyond by replacing the register when he wasn't even asked to, but he did that for his own diagnostic purposes, so it was definitely the right thing to do. So he went on his way, went home, and then this morning I got a help ticket that said, go out and replace the cable. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. I have seen the job history on this, and not only was the cable replaced once, but it was tested yesterday. The cash drawers were replaced twice, because that was the second thing they said. Well, if it's not the cable to replace the drawer, I was like, we did that twice already. The cable's been replaced once. The cable's been tested. The cash drawer has been tested. The register has not individually been tested, but you got two registers. One of the two of them has to work. It's in your software. Obviously, your drivers aren't making this thing pop, but they didn't want to listen. You know, no, that couldn't possibly be. I said, well, I've been telling you this for a week. We replaced the cable, we replaced the cash drawer. I said this the first time. I said it's either the register or it's going to be the software. They didn't want to replace the register or even have me try that, but the other backup tech that I had that went out on my day off, he did it anyway. I like that he did that. I probably would have done the same myself. So anyways, they're out of things for me to do. There's nothing left for me to replace. I mean, what do you want me to do? Tear the counter that it sits on out of the ground and replace that too? It's in your software. Go ahead and get it into your heads and move your this help ticket up to a higher level of your internal network and send your engineers on it and have them fix the software. The thing about this company, they don't like to repair the software on these computers. No, they're so quick to just completely re-image or reload the software entirely. But if you've got a bad image, it's not fixing things. Not to mention all the data that you have to back up and restore every single time. So they're giving themselves more work in the process. And I'm not a fan of making yourselves more work, even though I really shouldn't say too much. But this is more of a personal endeavor versus something you're getting paid for. When you're getting paid for it, you definitely don't need to be making more work for yourself. All right, I figured you guys get a little laugh out of that, you know, replaced everything and they want to replace it again and again and again. It's like, how many more times do we need to replace the same hardware? So anyways, I think that's it for now. So please, as always, like, comment, subscribe, pluck the little dingle bell you see down there next to the subscribe button. That would get updates every time I upload a new video. And don't forget to check out my other channels. Hey, you're on VV the Duck VV right now watching this midday Q&A update. And over on my other channel, Duckman Cycles VW Garage, you'll see me working on Eleanor. And if you look up inside of there, you'll see her rear hatch. And at this point, you've probably already seen that video. This is Monday's Q&A, and that would be Sunday night's tech video where we're talking about that hatch in there. So anyways, I think that's it for now. As you can tell, I'm not feeling all too good. I'm just having a lot of trouble breathing, and it's fatiguing me. I don't feel tired per se like I have a cold. I just feel like sick up and fed. And yes, that's a Cheech and Chong thing. I'm sick up and fed with having this congestion and allergies crap, and I can't wait for it to go away. You can really hear it in my voice. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.